Hi, my name is Seth.
And I'm Youjin.
She's a German costume designer. I'm an American opera singer. We live in Berlin.
And we're having a baby during a pandemic.
Stick around for SETH LEARN DAD.
Hey honey, what are we doing today?
Well, we're packing our hospital bag today, and we've already laid out a couple of things. First of all, here's the bag. Should be big enough. Toiletry bag with, just the usual stuff. Maybe some massage oil.
Massage oil? Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm giving you massages?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it.
Why do we need so much stuff? Like as far as PJs and clothes and things like that?
Well, because we'll be planning on staying longer.
Yeah.
We'll hopefully, ideally, we'll get a family room, and then a going home outfit, which is, in my case, I just picked, a simple black dress, and then the going home outfit for the baby, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Here are a couple of options we don't know yet.
I think he'll be able to find something that works for him out of this list.
He'll be able to pick himself. We'll make him pick something. You convinced me to get a hand fan, which I like more and more. I like the idea more and more. Music. Oh yeah, snacks are very important, but we haven't bought any snacks yet to put in the hospital bags. But ideally, probably it's just going to be like, nuts and protein bars and stuff like that. I'm assuming they have towels for us, but who knows?
But we brought towels and washcloths just in case.
Exactly. My Mutterpass.
Yeah, tell people about the Mutterpass.
Well, it has all the information about, from the beginning of my pregnancy till the end, and has all the information that they need at the hospital, and about the baby and the mother. Yeah, that's, I think, a very important, or the most important document. In case we're married, you should bring your marriage certificate. Since we're not married, they want us to bring the what's called the Vaterschaftsanerkennung,
which is a declaration of paternity.
Yeah, but I doubt that we will have it at the due date, ready at the day, because you don't have a passport yet. But that's fine, we can get it later.
You had a doctor's appointment this week.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any reason that you are feeling the need to make sure this bag is packed today? Like, it seems like you're suddenly getting in a hurry to pack a bag.
The doctor actually said it's already in a very good position.
Mm-hmm.
So my doctor's appointments are every other week now.
Mm-hmm.
And last time, yesterday, I went in for it's called CTG, which means they scan or they monitor the baby's heartbeat and contractions. And I had two good schöne contractions. That's what she called it. Beautiful contractions. I didn't feel a thing, and then afterwards it took like 20 minutes, and the heartbeat of the child was, also strong and good. And then the doctor came in and she said, well, it could be any day now, and that's why I'm sort of kind of in a hurry, and I feel like just physically, it feels like the baby is just working its way down more and more. It gets more. It's just I feel heavy, or my belly feels heavier, and I feel more pressure, and just overall feeling that it might come earlier than expected.
Yeah, I mean we're still more than 2 weeks away from the due date.
Yeah, exactly.
But we have a feeling.
And most importantly.
Oh.
Your socks.
My lucky socks.
Your lucky socks.
I have now worn those to 2 visa appointments that have been successful, and now I'm hoping they will help me through the birth. So they're in the bag for sure.
help you and me.
And both of us, yeah. Anything else?
Oh yeah, so I found this video on YouTube. It was like 10 things that your labor nurse wants you to pack for the hospital. And the one thing I really liked was that she said, pack something that makes you feel at home and like comfortable.
So what are you going to bring?
And I know exactly what I want to bring.
Uh-oh.
I'll bring Clara.
Yeah, she's going to love it.
There you go.
All right, you ready? Or not? Bye.
Bye.
All right. So we're going to get all this packed up and then we're ready to go.
Yep. We're ready. Whenever you are.
Hi.
Notre intervieweur aujourd'hui.
All right.
He's super excited about everything, so you might see him moving a lot.
I love it.
A
I
lot.
love it. Today I'm very nervous. I feel like I'm back in school in the lunchroom, and I've been invited to sit at the cool kids table. I am interviewing two incredible musicians that I am a big fan of. I have Sindy Mohamed and Arthur Hornig, who we met at the Deutsche Oper Berlin working together. Guys, thank you so much for doing this for me.
You're very welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
The first thing I want to know is, where are you from? Just tell us where you come from.
You start. It's more exciting.
It's true, actually. No, I come from Egypt. My parents are from Egypt, and I was born in France. I grew up in France. So basically, I'm from both countries, France, Egypt.
And I was born in Germany, and I'm German. And actually, I live in Berlin since I can remember. I mean, since I'm 5 years old. So actually, I'm nearly a Berliner.
Yeah, quite Berliner, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you discover your love for music? It's a very broad question, I know, but just, I'll give you some background. Why it's interesting to me is, singers, we often come to this very late. And, in my university, there was a theory exam you had to take at the beginning. And it was so easy that if you failed it, you had to take a special theory class where they taught you, like, this is a major scale, this is a minor scale. And everybody just called that class singers theory because it was only singers in that class. And I'm always amazed that, you guys probably started working when you were learning when you were 4 or 5 years old instead of us,
Well, actually, it's more his case than mine. I started pretty late for like how do you say that, instrumental list. I started with 8 years old, and it was just completely by chance. I mean, I haven't. It was not my own wish. It was my mom discovery. Basically, she was. She always liked Arabic traditional music, and she had no idea about classical music. And one day she said she was walking around with my older sister, and she just saw bunch of kids with instruments, and she just went into that school, which was obviously a conservatory, and she asked about it, and then she actually introduced me to this place then later on, but with me and not with my older sister, so very strange also. She decided to go for it with me, and I discovered it, as I said, around 8 years old, and I started right away with the viola, which is also rare. Quite rare.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What made you choose the viola?
I didn't choose the viola, and my mother neither. Actually, she said she would like to give me an instrument. She asked a teacher what she could recommend us, and she said that piano is very often played, and violin, and the viola is rarely picked up, and it's very important. And my mom said, okay, she would go for that. Basically, that's it.
For me, it's a bit more traditional, because my parents are not musicians, but somehow artists. My father is an actor. My mom is a opera mise en scène. A regisseur.
Yeah, a director.
And she likes to play music for fun. She always made house music, string quartet evenings at home. And that's how I discovered the cello. And I still even remember to grab the stick of the cello player in the evenings. And then it was quite easy for her to see, okay, maybe he likes cello. And then she luckily bought me one when I was 5 years old. She let me build a small one. It was more or less a viola with a stick.
Oh, so sad.
And I still have it. I still have this cello, so I think maybe he will get it at some point. And that's how I started then, yeah.
You said your mom made house music. I thought you were telling me she was a DJ there for a second.
No. We got music at home, and not house music.
So where did you guys study?
So I studied in south of France and then in Paris and then in Berlin. In the Hochschule, the Hans Eisler Hochschule. I did my master there. In the same time, I was doing the Academy of the Opera, where I met.
So most of the time, the academies are also still studying. I mean, a bit further master.
Usually,
So that's where you met then, at the orchestra, Deutsche Oper.
Exactly.
How did that go? Tell me about that.
You start.
Well, actually, I still remember very well the first time. The first rehearsal I met her, it was a Nabucco rehearsal in the orchestra Probensaal up there in the Fischdorf.
Yeah.
And this I remember still very well. I found her super arrogant.
I found the exact same about you.
I was sure you didn't watch me 1 second.
I
tried to
you,
catch a view, but
I'm sorry. It's very funny. I saw you, but I was just more discreet than you.
Yeah. And I was sure I'm very discreet, but I wasn't.
Well, if it's okay, if it makes you feel better, I find you both to be very arrogant, so it works out.
Okay.
So you met in the orchestra and you fell in love. When did you get married?
We got married 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
And we met in 2013.
Okay.
So it took a while to find each other and then to get married also.
What took so long?
Oh. Sorry, I stop laughing.
Difficult question.
No,
well,
I mean, when I met you, I'm sorry to say, I was in a relationship. That's why. And maybe that's why I also didn't want to watch so deutlich, to you.
When did you decide to have a kid?
I don't know if we decided.
Well, there you go. That's also a good answer.
But actually, we decided to get married, and then we decided to see what happens.
We decided to start, and we didn't know it was gonna come super fast, which happened very fast. It's probably the fastest thing that happened to us.
Yeah.
Did you feel at the time that it was the right time to have kids once you found out you were pregnant?
I think I was a bit less scared than her.
Definitely. I mean, he forced me to make the test because I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. I know I'm not, and he was right. And when I discovered it, I think I got more scared than him. Yeah, I was really not scared. I think I was a little bit of shock, panic, and wow, it went very fast. And what's gonna be my life? Super changing so fast. And I had thousands of questions, and he was so chilled about the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, Arthur, you're such an expressive, emotional person. Yeah.
Yeah, I told him, and he was like, I knew, but I was like, seriously?
Nice.
Great.
Nice.
Great. All right.
All right, let's do that.
It's in the inside, yeah.
Of course, I understand. Everybody's different. It's good to have balance in a relationship. Absolutely. Well, so Sindy, I guess you probably find yourself to be more French than Egyptian. Is that correct?
It depends, I would say. It depends on the situations and with whom I am also. I adapt extremely well to Egypt, I have to say. When I'm with a Egyptian community or friends or family, I could be easily an Egyptian. I could switch very, very well and fast. And also when I'm with French people, then of course I also feel very French. So I don't know, it's kind of difficult to say.
Do you identify with German people?
Nope.
Well then, but you're raising, so you have one son, right? Only one child.
Yeah.
What's his name? Sorry.
Nael.
Nael, beautiful. And he's growing up in Germany, obviously. What are your thoughts and plans for how to keep him connected to France and Egypt, for that matter?
Well, I mean, first of all, we decided to raise him bilingual, if as far as it's possible. So she's until now speaking only French to him, and I'm speaking German to him. We still haven't figured out completely how to do it with the Arabic, because it would be great if he also learns Arabic. There we have also some solutions, but we haven't figured it out. And on top, we are only speaking English with each other, which is quite weird. And I think it confuses him also. But we'll see what gets out. And in the best case, he speaks 4 languages then when he's 2 years old.
I was going to say he might not speak a full language until he's 10, but once he does, he'll have this wide variety.
That's probably true. No, I think we have to stop with the English very soon, because I notice that he really notices that we speak a different language together than with him. And he's going to be anyways a lot with German. Like your family is here, they're in Berlin, so they will always speak in German. You speak German, he will go to speak to school, he will also hear German. It's a lot of, I have to balance it in a way. I'm just the only one having another 2 languages, so it's difficult for me to teach him 2 languages at once.
Arthur, you play full-time in the orchestra at the Deutsche Oper, but you also do have the opportunity to freelance and do chamber music as well. And Sindy, you are exclusively a freelancer, is that correct?
Exactly.
What are the different demands between having a fixed position in an orchestra and being a chamber musician or a soloist?
Well, right now, of course, it's a very special time. With this pandemic, of course, I mean, the freelance market is quasi dead. There's nothing happening right now. And also in the orchestra, there's nothing happening. So we actually somehow got a bit lucky, because I think he would have never seen so many hours of us together at home like he did the last 4 months or so. I think the difference is, I mean, normally we have a perfect combination. She could work the whole day, and I just stay with him. I bring him to Beckett, and then go to the opera and play my concerts, my shows there, which would in the end mean that we never meet. But but for the child, it works very well.
No, I mean, it means also I can work a lot full week and then nothing for another full week. So it's very. I think I'm more flexible than you are.
Early this year, Sindy, you did a chamber music tour in the US. Is that correct?
Right before Corona time.
Right before. I was looking at the dates of your tour, and I was like, man, you almost didn't get out of there, actually.
Yeah. The last concert was cancelled in San Francisco, and I think it was one of the very first concerts in America that was cancelled at all.
It was our concert. We got the news that it was cancelled the evening, and nobody believed, because it was like, why? I mean, it was far away from us, this Corona. Also, I mean, even more in America. I think in Europe, it was people were more concerned than American people during that tour, actually. And we got out right in time.
It was just funny. It was the absolute opposite of what happened to us afterwards, because in America, we were literally every morning in the airport taking plane, like 20 days in a row, waking up every day in another city, in another hotel room, and then come back and stay at home, literally at home for 3 months. Yeah. Not even taking the car.
Tell me a little bit more about having Nael on the tour and what that was like. So Arthur, you were taking your paternity leave and going on this trip with them, correct?
I was the babysitter, yeah.
Come on, he was not the babysitter. He was a huge help. A huge help.
No, but I have to say that you planned this tour. She told me about this tour in December.
I was so scared.
It was quite on short notice, yeah. And I told her, that's a nice idea, but forget about it. It's impossible, because the schedule was really Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day in another city, but not just close to each other. It was always a 3-4 hours flight within. Yeah? And I thought, okay, I mean, I thought it's impossible. And then I thought, okay, but then let's speak about it. Ask for good money, because I will have to book 20 flights for myself. So just ask for that. And this worked out. Yeah, they paid us, and then it came, and then it was just fixed. And then.
But now that you speak about it, I mean, he didn't seem to be very worried at all. You know, I was so scared of doing all of this, and he was the one chilling me out and saying, "No, I'm with you." He also, I mean, because you have to know, he was born, and then 3 weeks later, it was already his first trip with us. So he's kind of used to be on the road.
I think it was 2 weeks.
2 weeks? 2 weeks. We actually did this, of course, in smaller amount of time, and it was only in Germany or in France. But we saw that he was extremely flexible baby so far. And I have to tell you, I think babies are extremely flexible. It's we parents make it more complicated than what it is at the end. Really. So I was scared because, of course, it's America. It's a very long flight. I don't know how I'm going to do that with a baby for such a long flight. And he never complained once.
No, but this child was also, I mean, he was fine. I think now it would be already something else, but a child of, let's say, 4 or 5 months, he could sleep everywhere. Yeah. He would sleep in every plane. He would sleep in every car. He would just eat whatever we give him, or still there, he would only breastfeeding.
No, we were still very organized. We had everything we tried to keep everything like if we would be at home. But as I said, I think a baby really gets used to be on the way. It's a way of saying, like, they don't have to have a fixed place to sleep like we think. You know, it's for now. Yes, I tell you, if I have to go now in America with a almost 10 months old child, it would be. But with a baby, he couldn't walk yet. He was just starting to crawl, and he just basically needed to sleep, eat, and feel loved. That's it. But it was tough. The toughest part was it was to go to the airport and have to do all the security things 100 times a week with a baby, with the kinderbag, and with everything, and that they check you from bottom to toe. It was like, this was the stressful part for me.
Have either of you had to be apart from the baby for a long period yet?
Actually, we always try to be together.
Yeah.
So if she would go, I would get just calm, and the other way around, of course, even more, because she was breastfeeding. So I think we even when she was exclusively breastfeeding, she went 2 days to Paris, which took us three weeks of preparation, because you have to pump all this milk.
It was like so tough.
But this is possible.
But this was the longest time I left him. Was like really 2 nights. I had a very, very important concert in Paris. I think it was the most stressful situation for me from this whole year, because I was really exclusively breastfeeding. There was no other food than I.
But also, I didn't leave more than a few days in a row, even if I played somewhere else. And I was always imagining it very nicely to be in a hotel room to sleep through, but it's not happening. You feel strange. Yeah. You cannot. I mean, you're so used to wake up. I would wake up. We even had this baby camera, which is connected to the internet. So you can also, when you're in another city, you can log in with your phone and watch. I would, even if I woke up at 2 o'clock in the night, I would just watch the baby camera and watch him sleeping on the way in München or.
That's what they did in Paris.
Yeah, I can imagine. I told Youjin that while I'm gone, anytime he wakes her up, she should call me and wake me up, so that way I have to wake up in solidarity with her, so I'm not sleeping.
But actually, you would do it very naturally.
Yeah, that's funny. Good idea. I'm gonna get the video camera, although I know I'm an addictive person. I'll probably just watch him all day. So.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. And now we have only audio, but in the beginning it was really nice.
In Paris, they were both sleeping, and I couldn't fall asleep without knowing what was happening. And I just opened the app, and I saw they were like peacefully sleeping, so I went on sleeping. Yeah.
Well, we've talked a lot during the lockdown about how nice it would have been to have the baby during this time, with all this time off. And you touched on that earlier. You said that it has been a benefit to have so much time with him. Yeah, I mean, tell me a little bit more about that. Like, what have your days been like with him in this weird time?
I mean, this was the time he was 6 months, maybe 6, 7 months. I think this was the time where you really wanted to have this schedule for him, and it was a very good idea.
Yeah.
So where you really start to give him 2 naps a day, always at the same time. He eats the same time. He goes to bed the same time.
We used this time to, especially after a very long tour where everything was like chaotic. We decided to put this routine for him, and it was exactly like on the perfect time for his age. I mean, like around 6 months, they have to now try to have a scheduled day, and this worked out very, very well for us because you have to take the time for this.
I can't imagine that my son is going to enjoy hearing me sing very much because it's the characters that I play a lot of psychopaths, and I do a lot of contemporary music, which is not necessarily enjoyable to listen to. But you guys both play very beautiful instruments. Does he like to listen to you play?
I would say yes. Yeah.
Until now, he really likes it, because you say it's I mean, psychopathic roles and contemporary music. I think they
don't know,
open,
you know. Yeah.
I think he is fascinated by noises. By
yeah.
I don't think he prefers Mozart over Xenakis.
Yes, absolutely no. He would just take what you give. I mean, yeah.
Do you guys play very often together?
No. Not at all.
Actually, never.
Actually, this video that we posted during Corona time was the first thing we ever did together.
We had to because there was no one else around. But no.
But that's exactly why we played together.
There's nobody else. I guess you'll do.
Yeah. That's what we wrote on the video.
Yeah, but it's true. And he was on it because we had nobody to look for after him.
He was not even planned to be such a cute family video. He had to be in front of us to watch him, and that's it.
Well, that's the bulk of the interview questions. Do you have time for my little questionnaire? These 5 questions that I'm asking everybody. Still have some time.
Please.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go then. So I will say question number 1. What is the best piece of advice that anyone gave you, and or the worst piece of advice that anyone gave you regarding parenting?
For me, my mom said one thing that was the best. She said, don't listen to anyone, you know better. And she said, you will not be a passive woman sitting on the couch because you have a baby. That's what she said. She said, everything you did before, you will do it. You just need a bit more motivation than before, but nothing would change. That's what she said.
That's interesting.
And I think she also wanted me to be like not scared.
Right.
You know, like.
That's also, I have to say, also for me now the best thing that I heard, because actually I think the mom is always right concerning I don't even say, I mean, also about giving birth, about feeding the child. I mean, I think I get along very well with my son, and he's very close to me, but I still think the mom knows the best. It's like this. And from their own feeling, not from what you have read or what you know, but just they feel it.
It's not, you cannot really explain it, but the best advice I could give to you as a couple, that she should listen to herself. Also for the day of birth and everything, she would, even with all the advice she would get in the hospital or wherever she's going to give birth, she would still know better than them. How she feels, what she's capable of. Nobody can tell her how her body would react. Only her.
Yeah. So question 2 is, what did no one tell you about parenting that you wish that they had?
Well, everybody says life changes. It's true. You're not anymore focused on yourself. Like you suddenly from one day to another one, you know you are responsible of someone. So this changes a lot within yourself. You can do the same things next days, but it's just also when I go away, but I know he is in my mind all the time. Like I cannot switch off this.
I think I would have liked to know before how much fun it is and how great it is, because I was still doubting if it's my thing. I was never. I actually have to say he's the first baby I had in my arms because I have a small family. I have nephews, nothing. So actually, I was absolutely not close to any kind of babies in my life. I wouldn't even know how to touch a baby.
It's true.
And now it's the most natural thing. So I think I would have liked to know even more how much fun and how much joy it brings to me. Especially because I'm a very emotional and joyful person. He's really the most emotional thing I have experienced.
Yeah, he became so expressive. Like I still tell him every day. I tell him I learn things. I mean, I see sides from him I didn't know.
Yeah.
Before.
Okay. Question 3. What is the one toy or piece of equipment, distraction, whatever, that you absolutely couldn't survive without, with keeping him calm, whatever, anything? Viviana Barrios said the Tchaikovsky cello concerto. So, I mean, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be an object.
That's interesting. I like that piece.
Well, I don't know what he had as a baby that we really used. I think the baby nest, because we were traveling a lot, where he would see this was very useful.
That was actually the first gift that we received. My brother bought us a baby nest, and yeah.
No, it's very nice. And then you can also just be safe in there. Oh.
Yeah, our cat has taken it over for the past 2 months, but we will reclaim it for the baby.
She can have it back in a few months when he's
yeah, absolutely. Cool. Okay, question 4. What did your parents do when you were a kid that you didn't like and that you swore you would never do, but you ended up doing when you became a parent?
I mean, I know that I was a big fan of this Schnuller, you know, this thing.
Mm-hmm.
How do you say that?
We say pacifier.
Yeah, pacifier, exactly. My mom said I couldn't live without it, and I somehow, I don't know, I was always rejecting the idea. So I really tried the first month.
You were so against it.
I was so against it. I was like, no, he's not.
I was not even allowed to give him in the very
finger.
beginning. They liked the finger.
Mm-hmm.
Was also
no, because they get so it's addictive, you know, and I gave up after a month and a half, and I said, you know,
when you find out the piece you can have with it, you give it.
Yeah.
But one more thing I wouldn't do is this special way of speaking for children. I mean, this, there's someone who is hungry, blah, blah. And I was so sure I would never speak like this. And now I find myself doing this, and she mocks me because there's someone who's really tired.
He speaks for him, you know, like, okay, he understands.
This is what my mom even did with our dog, speaking and translating what he is actually right now thinking or expressing. You start doing it also.
Oh, that's funny. The last question I have is number 5. Anytime now, any day, I'm going to be changing my first diaper. So I'm looking for advice, technique, tips, whatever you have. How do you change a diaper?
Oh, yeah. Well.
Wow. But it changes with the age also, huh? It's like changing diaper of a newborn and of a 9-month-old child is not the same.
It's true. The challenge is very different. I think from a newborn, you're more afraid to break something. From the child, you're very careful. And right now, the challenge is more to keep him calm on his back because he doesn't like it. He doesn't want to stay. So for me, sometimes it's like a countdown. Yeah? You lay him on the back, and I always give him something to touch, to watch, and then you have 6-7 seconds until he throws it away and he wants to. And in this 6 seconds, you have to clean him and to put everything in order. So
and also, I mean, it's just different because he eats much more than when he was 2 weeks old. So what you get as a present in the diaper is not the same. So enjoy the first month because it's pretty easy, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's everything I have. Is there anything else that you want to say that we haven't talked about? Anything else you want to add?
If you're not so organized in your life, you will have to become organized. You have no choice anymore.
That's maybe the good thing to be married to a German.
Exactly.
I mean, we have a shared Google Calendar now. We never had that.
And I always hated this kind of
and
thing.
I even write in there when I go meet my friend in a
Yeah,
pizzeria.
and I'm like, why do you write that you're going to the pizzeria? And he's like, then you know. Okay.
So this changes, yeah. What I would maybe do with the next child is not to be too honest about the due date. Because actually we told everyone about the due date, and then 2 weeks before, 3 weeks, or a month before, even people ask, and how is it, and what, how far? And I thought maybe it would be good just to say it's a month later, and then it just comes. Because I have been also thinking maybe it's nice to be actually alone in the hospital, just the two of us. And especially for the first child, because everyone's awaiting so much, and it gives you somehow the pressure. So I would have loved to say just, yeah, he's there. I think this time where you're the first time, the three of you, and somehow also very lost, very helpless. There was 3 nights in the hospital where we actually didn't sleep at all, and then by chance he slept 1 hour on my belly, and it was our only hour of sleep. It's an intense time, and it's nice to share it. Just very intimate, I think, because afterwards you're never so intimate again.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Casper.
You said it's time for us to add a branch in the family tree. And I said the world is just when you and me makes 3. When you and me makes 3. Confinement song number 1, dedicated to all the parents out there. Day 1, this is fun. There is cooking to be done. There is food for everyone, but it's still just day 1. I like this. Together, we are all in this together. Working all the time is over. This is everything and better.